Then in India, there were various people who are going to put up various ideas. For example, there were various teachers like V, like Raj Bihari Bose, Ashwini Kumar Datta, V.S. Chiplunkar. Now their teachings, they are going to make the people much more revolutionary in nature, much more extremist in nature. Okay, so the emergence of new revolutionaries in 1920 was prepared by the early revolutionary terrorists or extremists. So here I have put an oblique. So for us, they are extremists, but for the British, the reason I'm mentioning this here is that you would have an idea, but never use the word terrorist in your papers. You will always have to use the word extremist, because this is for us, they were extremists. All right. We'll also, in the coming session, we'll look into what is going to what are the various categorizations of these sections that was mentioned by Sumit Sarkar. Then, because of these people, what happened is that the youth who listened to their speeches, they came up with various secret societies. They various secret societies who carried out activities such as, passing information on riots, on how to conduct information. So secretive messages, they were passed through secretive societies. Then, because of them, anti-British journals were also started that would much more influence the youth in becoming revolutionaries, and their heroic actions build up a platform on which the movements of 1920s could grow. So here what we are seeing is that the revolutionary activities of 1920. So that means what we are seeing is that, see, the initial most understanding of revolutionary activity, it is going to start during the 1870s. Okay, 1870s, in the area of Maharashtra, and it is going to go on till the time period of 1947, when India does not get independence. So over the years of passing, the revolutionary activity in India, it is just going to be much more influenced and growing and growing and growing. So that is why here the 1920s aspect is there. Earlier we saw the 1909 aspect, now here 1920 aspect is there. Then moreover, even after the suspension of the non-cooperation movement also, the revolutionary activities increased. Okay, so this we shall also be focusing when we talk on the non-cooperation movement. That means that when non-cooperation movement was being conducted, that non-cooperation movement, it had that non-cooperation movement, it was done by Gandhiji. It was led by Gandhiji. Now what had happened is that a lot of people at that point of time, they had favored, means they had thought that they should accept the leaders, they should accept the leadership of Gandhiji, and they should, give Gandhiji's way of satyagraha one particular chance. I will explain what is the background of it and everything in the coming sessions. However, here just try to understand. Many of the revolutionaries who had become revolutionaries prior to Gandhiji coming in the national scene. So after Gandhiji came in the national scene, and when Gandhiji started the non-cooperation movement, many of such revolutionaries, they thought of giving Gandhiji's way of doing satyagraha one chance to just see whether the demands are being fulfilled or no. And people, many of the revolutionaries, they also increasingly switched their methodologies and did the satyagraha under the leadership of Gandhiji in the whole of India in the year of 1920. Okay, however, by the time period of 1922, when the non-cooperation movement, it was stopped, at that point of time, these revolutionaries, they were like, they had once again lost faith. And once again, what happened is that these revolutionaries, they are going to adopt back to what? They are again going to adopt back to revolutionary activities after the suspension of non-cooperation movement. So that is going to be there. So then again, after the suspension of non-cooperation movement, once again the revolutionary activities are going to be increasing. So almost all important members of revolutionary movement had participated in the non-cooperation movement and shared immense exhilaration generated by the unprecedented popular upsurge and high hopes raised by Gandhiji's promise of attaining independence within 1 year. So Gandhiji had told that we will get independence within 1 year if we do the non-cooperation movement in the manner that he had told. However, they didn't get independence, and after the suspension, many of the people, they once again went on to doing the revolutionary activity. So here what we are seeing is that prior to 1909 also revolutionary activity was there. After 1909 there was a bit of increasing revolutionary activity, and after the 1920 there was more increasing revolutionary activities. So this is how we can see that over the years there is going to be increase in them. Then after that there is also going to be the influence of Russian Revolution and the other aspects also. So up till now we have very well understood things here, okay, on how the revolutionary, what are going to be the factors. Just read this, friends. I believe I will be explaining the Swarajist and the constructive program in the coming sessions. Okay, so here after that you can write these points in your means examination. Just read it up, please. So here that is going to be the scenario. All right. Now, when we talk about their ideas and principles, now the content is very much important because the UPSC in the means examination can ask you questions pertaining to it. That under what principles did the revolutionary extremists fight their, under what principles did the revolutionary extremists justify their actions? Full stop. Comment on the relevance of revolutionary extremists in the Indian freedom struggle. So that is how the UPSC can frame a means question and ask it to you. So here on that particular topic, the content is applicable, and after that, examine or justify or whatever the further statement is there. There you have to then have the conceptual clarity and the perspective based answer formatting. Then, when we talk about the ideals and principles in nature, what do you understand is that the revolutionaries, they wanted quick results and they had no faith in the efficacy of gradual reforms which were asked by moderates and the extremists. They also believed in the usefulness of the violent methods, and they were convinced that the non-violent struggle will never succeed against the British Raj, because the British Raj, they had the power of guns, machines, and all of those things. So the cult of violence of bomb and pistol was the fundamental constituent of this ideology, that is the revolutionary ideology, and the central characteristics of their entire program was to strike terror among the British. And how would they strike a terror among the British? By assassinating unpopular British officials and traitors the traitors of India. Okay, that means who had sided with the particular Britishers. The revolutionaries, they were convinced that the Western bondage of British colonial rule could be shattered by the use of Western hammer of violence and direct struggle. The direct struggle, it is not the political struggle, but the direct struggle, it is going to be the revolutionary struggle, wherein you use the cult of bomb, violence, and pistol against the Britishers, wherein you directly fight them head on head. So that is what they are going to talk here. All right, and there was also the direct struggle. Even the extremists believed that direct struggle should be there, but their direct struggle was focused on the political movement and not on violent activities. Moreover, the revolutionaries believed in leading through examples, wherein they were always ready to perform the self sacrifices, and they wanted to do it so that they act as a example for the Indians, and they also wanted to instill the sense of patriotism within the Indians. So that is what they wanted to do. Their point was to remove the fear from the people's minds and arouse revolutionary and patriotic sentiments within the hearts of Indians. Within the hearts of Indians. Now, see, here one thing I would like to tell you is that in the ideology, the initial aspect was that these particular revolutionaries, they believed in the violent aspect. and many of them believed in the violent aspect even in the later on times. However, there were certain revolutionaries like Bhagat Singh, Ram Prasad Bismil. So these particular personalities, they told that revolutionary should happen, but they also preached on the aspect of political activity, that not only guns, pistols and bombs should be used in order to get your demands fulfilled, but also you should be doing political activity. And at the end of their life, these significant personalities, they are going to focus more on political activity rather than violent activities in order to get their demands fulfilled. So here what I want to tell you is that the UPSC can also ask you that the principles of some revolutionaries varied from the main principles of the early revolutionaries. Discuss it with examples on how far they were successful. Okay, so here that is the thing that I want to mention to you. So UPSC, it plays with the mind. Many of the people have read on Bhagat Singh's ideology and Ram Prasad Bismil's ideology. So they were also revolutionaries. And the UPSC will definitely ask questions pertaining to them in such a manner wherein the UPSC will ask you to categorize or distinguish them from the original mindset of the revolutionaries and how far they were successful in bringing or changing the ideas of various revolutionary people. That is going to be there here. So this is one thing.